Hey there, and welcome to part 2 of my playthrough of Darkest Dungeon containing the Crimson Court DLC. Yeah, my name is Icon, and I've started this series quite a month ago or such, and I haven't been continuing it because I ran into horrible audio problems. Like you have maybe noticed in the first episode, I really needed to rule those out, and I hope everything is fine now. You can leave me some comments if you're thinking otherwise. And yeah, but let's just get into this. I'm gonna do this playthrough quite beginner friendly, explaining a lot and sharing my thoughts and decision making as much as I can. So on the last episode we finished through the tutorial pretty well. I finished up the first expedition and I picked up some heroes on the stagecoach. I got an antiquarian and I got a houndmaster. I put up one upgrade here, and I didn't go for this upgrade because I'm gonna get 3 available heroes and I have room for 3 more, so I can just go for the next expedition because most of the buildings are still locked and will get unlocked during the next expeditions. So far we unlocked the Abbey and the Tavern, where we can send our heroes to heal from the stress of the dungeon, but right now we don't need that. We're gonna embark on the next quest. For now I only have options here in the ruins, and let's check the trinkets we can achieve. That's a trinket for the Jester, which is actually pretty good. And there's a Plague Doctor trinket, another common one, but stun chance is also not too shabby. Bag of marbles for the antiquarian, and Magic's Greaves for the Owlist. Well, these would be the most interesting thing to achieve, but this is also a medium expedition, and I don't want to go for a medium expedition yet. I feel like I want to have these lucky dice, because they're a nice trinket without drawbacks, and accuracy and dodge are certainly 2 useful stats. For the last journey we took this formation like it was, but this time I feel like I want to bring up the Houndmaster. Yet the problem is I can't learn any new skills for these guys so far, and until then I don't want to bring him. And this, well, now we're gonna do the next expedition with the starting party again, which is not my favorite party, but it works. I'm certainly sure that will work. So we're gonna bring rations. That's more food than I actually need, but well, I'm one of those players who likes to overbuy in terms of resources. You can certainly finish the dungeons with a lot less resources than I do, but I don't feel too comfortable if I don't have enough resources on me. Okay, so that's basically my standard setup here for short expeditions. I'm gonna bring a little bit of everything to be able to use curios efficiently and bring back some treasures. So pretty soon I will leave the tutorial area and be able to enter the other dungeon branches, but so far we can only play the ruins. And for this expedition we need to complete all room battles in the dungeon here, and it's quite linear, so I can't take any off branches or something like that, so I can just walk through this and finish up this dungeon. So this curio can be used with the holy water, and we have got some buff of 30% damage until camping. This curio does nothing bad if you don't use it, if you use it without a holy water, but I knew I would get this damage buff and it's certainly useful. 90% disarming chance, and he failed. Silly him. Well, we can't change it. So my torch is growing a bit dim, but that's okay. I want to save the torch a bit. And there's the first fight. It's actually a pretty dangerous fight. This guy's just fodder, but this guy is a stress attacker and this one is a stress attacker, so I want to bring these guys down as quick as possible. For this, I'm gonna use the tracking shot first, because the damage buff and everything is pretty useful. And there's no chance that I can kill these guys before they can use their skills at least once. So I'm gonna go into Judgment next. And I'm focusing this guy as hard as I can. I'm gonna toss a Plague Grenade. And I'm hoping to blight this guy. Yeah, and he won't see another turn. So I took in 2 stress hits. I couldn't avoid that. So next up, my Crusader can only hit these 2 rows. So I'm gonna go for Zealous Accusation. And sadly, I didn't finish up the first one. I hoped so, but yeah. Didn't work out. The first turn we're getting in hits from every single evil guy here. This guy I called fodder back then even scored a crit. So I'm gonna go up for another Blight Grenade. I hoped to blight him again so he would die, but it turns out I wasn't that lucky. And the good thing is the blight remaining on him is enough to kill him, so I don't need to attack him anymore. I can focus on the other guys now. That's pretty good. So for this turn, I'm gonna go for the Grapeshot Blast, because that will gonna hit 3 of these guys. And right now I want to get rid of this guy. He has only 1 hit point left. And the thing about this game, something that's really important to keep in mind, is an enemy with only 1 hit point left can do the same amount of damage as one with full hit points left. So if you can kill somebody, do it. You really want to get rid of every single enemy as quick as possible, prioritizing everything that's more dangerous than other stuff. So for this chest you need a key to open it safely, or it can be trapped as far as I know. So always bring enough keys for this. And now I want to use some more torches. And proceed down the hallway. First fight was pretty rough, and we're running into a lot of traps and accumulating a lot of stress along the way. That's also because the resolve level of these guys is only 1, so the higher the resolve level of the heroes, the less stress they get. It's very important to keep track of. And we have an urn here, which can be cleansed with holy water. If you don't do so, you're not guaranteed of getting loot. So that's one very useful thing to use holy water upon. And for this fight, we're luckily having the element of surprise, and that's why I don't want to prepare on this. I want to bring in the Grapeshot Blast immediately. Toss in a Plague Grenade to apply the blight on these guys. And I'm gonna group heal here again, because my party is overall pretty beaten up. And with this Zealous Accusation, I was hoping to kill these 2 guys, but turns out that didn't work. We're eating a horrible crit here. And this fight doesn't go as intended. This would have been a lot easier if the Crusader didn't miss. But well, that's the level 1 weaponry here. I don't have my smithy unlocked yet, so I can't upgrade these. So I'm gonna Grapeshot Blast again. It's mainly because I'm gonna hit this guy too. And I think the times of party heal are over. I wanna heal single targets more and more. And right now, I feel like another Plague Grenade could be in order. Or does it? I'm not too sure. I mean, it's very unlikely that I will achieve 2 points of damage. And that's not gonna kill this guy. This guy is already dead. These 2 guys will hopefully get killed by him. So what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna stick to the Plague Grenade. Because this way there's only 1 hit point left in this guy, and he'll gonna die the next turn for sure. Yeah, that's what I love about this game. The friggin' randomness. This was intended to be an easy first expedition on my own, but turns out it's a nightmare. But that's also a reason why I bring so much food. This way I can safely heal up my party a bit. I'm keeping 4 of them because from time to time your group wants to eat. That will heal them, and if you don't have the food, they will suffer damage and get stress damage too. And there goes the next fight. So we're surprising them again. And this is also a very dangerous team. This guy has some protection on him. 25%. That means all the damage he receives will get reduced by 25%. That's pretty rough. Most likely I'm gonna take him down last. First target for this fight is gonna be the Cultist Acolyte, because I really wanna bring down stress enemies always as quick as possible. And if I go into Judgment, if I actually would hit with Judgment, this guy would have been dust. But turns out that didn't work out. So for this turn, I'm gonna try to stun this cultist. Luckily, he finally found his aim back. And yeah, there we go. So this guy is pretty dead. But he's taking his chance to inflict some stress on my party before going from the stage. These bone arbalests deal a terrible lot of damage. So that's why I'm gonna aim with my highwayman next on this. And we have 4 points of blight on these 2 guys, so they're gonna die. For sure. That's very good. So next up I want to bring down the cultist. Because this guy, there's no chance I'm gonna kill him in this one turn. There's no hope of achieving that. Instead, I'm focusing all my attacks that I have on this guy. So he died. Very well. And sadly, my Crusader wasn't quick enough to get in his turn before he did. Tried to stun him because he has only 25% resistance to stun. That would have been really nice if I was able to stun him, but didn't happen. So we're slicing him apart bit by bit. I'm gonna smite him down. Alright, so we have a sarcophagus here. I'm not too sure. Nah, it wasn't a shovel. You can open those, I think, without any resources. That was a misplay from my side. I didn't memorize the curios entirely. Sometimes I'm still making mistakes there. But I think that's okay, to experiment a bit. So there are another 2 fights right ahead of us. Luckily, this is the first floor fight, which could be pretty easy. I say could be because so far on this run, a few things went south. Alright, so I got in the blight like I wanted to. And he's gonna die before he's able to take action. And yeah, at last a fight where we didn't get any damage. The healing turned into a crit. It's also very sweet. And yeah. So I try to get my HP levels back to a more sane spot as much as I can. But after all, it's always way more important to kill your enemies as fast as you can. That's a common mistake in this game, to try to heal too much, because most of the heals in this game aren't too effective. They're not super strong, they're just almost no abilities that are able to patch up a party member to 100% in a very quick way. So usually I heal when there's nothing better to do. So next fight, we're having the element of surprise again, luckily. I'm taking the shot on this Bone Courtier, because if this Plague Grenade deals 1 damage and blights him, he's gonna be dead before he takes action. I really focus into taking every chance I can to take down enemies, at least 1 enemy in the first turn. is the more the better. So here I took down one of those guys in the first turn, which is already really nice. So he didn't go into a stress attack. It's very good. Because there are already enough people close to freaking out here. So, alright. I'm gonna cure this bleed on my Highwayman with the Battlefield Medicine. And we get displaced. That's a bit unlucky. Okay, I'm gonna focus down this Cultist Brawler as good as I can. And my Plague Doctor gets a smack. And some bleeding. Alright, so next up is gonna be Sinzal's Accusation. And this guy's already dead. There's only one more action necessary to kill him. And that's the point where I feel like there's nothing better to do than to heal. Turns out to be a mistake though. Let's finish up this guy. And yeah, well, let's shoot this cultist down. I wish I could heal a bit more, but that won't happen. Alright, so with this button here, you can readjust the original party order. That's very useful if you get ever shuffled up like I did here. And this alchemy table, you can use herbs onto it and get some safe treasure. Without them, bad things can happen. And this party just didn't scout a single time, so I took the third trap. And the next fight's gonna be really rough. The next room fight's gonna be really, really rough. Alright. But also, this dungeon featured a lot of very dangerous floor fights so far. So we have a Madman here. These are also primarily stress attackers. And I'm gonna focus down the Bone Courtier again, because they don't have too much HP. And usually one shot of my Highwayman combined with a Plague Grenade is enough to take them down. Except something like that happens. That's always possible. So I'm trying to stun this Madman, at least. At least something to do. Luckily, the Bone Courtier didn't aim on my Vestal here. But she's getting close to death here. Alright. And there's more stress. These guys need some resting up again before they take the next expedition. And look at this mess. He didn't manage to hit this Bone Courtier a single time. And I feel like I really need to take this guy down this way. At least luckily the healing went into a crit. And I really want to get rid of this guy before he can take another shot into my party. I only need one more point of damage to get the job done for the Blight, but I really didn't want to take in another hit here. This party is really worn down already. Alright, so my Highwayman accomplished to kill this guy. I managed to stun this skeleton so I can safely heal a bit. It's not much, it's only 1 point, but I really want to take my chances. And since the skeleton was stunned, I had the time to safely patch up my party a bit. Alright. So there's one more fight to go. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit scared here that something might go wrong. And this time we don't get the surprise. And I'm gonna repeat what I did with the last few courtiers. And I hope my Plague Doctor is able to put on the Blight this time. And we're getting beaten up really hard here. So this time he did hit. and he did Blight. So that's at least something. Instead of healing or something like that, I'm gonna focus my fire on this guy to bring him down as quick as possible. And here I'm gonna go into more AoE from the Crusader, and luckily it turned out, luckily he could one-shot this guy. And yeah, this fight is pretty won. There's not a volley of lucky crits coming in. I'm done here. Alright. We've won. That's the last fight. This expedition is a success. Although, this was one of the harder runs, I have to admit. But with beginner parties, you will run into scenarios like these quite regularly. They suffer from bad equipment a lot. So, but luckily everything turned out fine. Sometimes I lose some people in the first expedition like that, because I run into some unlucky situation. But well, people dying is a part of the game. The wild folk. Oh, I can't gamble anymore. Poor him. And this death blow resist is a bit nasty. I want to get rid of it, maybe. And there are only so many negative quirks I really want to get rid of quickly. Most of them I just endure, because it's a lot of money to get rid of everything. So we have unlocked the Crimson Court here. There's the first mission available. And yeah, we would get some awesome unique here. The Crimson Court DLC features sets for the for the trinket slots, but so far we're not able to do so. And look at that, we got a Jester. That's very nice. And the other two guys, the highwayman named Evelyn. Oof, that's really odd. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up this guy because I found some nice trinket for him. And yeah, we unlocked the guild and the blacksmith. These are two very, very useful buildings because I can upgrade my gear here. And for that I need some more deeds. You can swap your antiquities here for other stuff. I really like to do that. So we're gonna change a few of these. Like that. I need 16 of those, so let's do it like that, and maybe I'm gonna swap in 3 of those. So we're at 16. I want to learn the first 2 levels because in my opinion these are the lifeblood of your parties, because they get more dodge rating, they get more hit points from that, they get more damage, they get more crit and speed. Those are really important stats to pick up along the way. Alright, so the next thing we unlocked is the guild, where we can learn new skills. It's also very useful. I want to have this level up and also this level up since I can afford it right now. That's very nice. So, alright. We're gonna prepare for the next expedition here for this episode, and that also means I need to heal up these guys a bit. They are too stressed. So let's check. This guy will only pray, so I want to send him into prayer. And let's check him. He's not too stressed. I can make another expedition with him. He can't gamble. Alright. And this lady, she has no restrictions, so I can put her here. And I'm gonna put him here and let him have a drink. This round is on me. Enjoy, my friend. It was a rough fight. Alright, so I have a few people left. This is no optimal party. Not at all. But yeah, you have to take what you get in the beginning of the game. So I need to adjust my skills here. Oh, let's do it on this screen. That's a bit better. So here these skills are good for his slot, so he doesn't need to swap anything. Here we are at Dirk's Stab. He has Harvest, he has Slice Off, he has Battle Ballad. That's some skill he can't use. So that's a bit sad. But on the other hand, it's okay. The Jester is always a bit wonky with his skill set. It ends up more often than not that he's not able to use one of his skills because his whole skill set is based around a lot of back and forth movements. This skill projects him 1 tile forward, this 3 backward, this 3 forward, so the Jester is all based around a lot of movements, so that's okay. My Houndmaster is at spot 1, which is not optimal. You can use the Hound's Harry, but apart from that, you can't use Hound's Rush. That's a bit bad. I won't have him on this slot actually. So for this scenario, sooner or later I want to learn all skills, but I can't afford that right now. So I'm gonna put my Highwayman in front. I think that's the best thing to do. And I want to put him here. So this way I don't have to learn too many new skills. And the Antiquarian is a very interesting character because all her skills are very weak. They have only moderate impact into fights. But if you have an Antiquarian with you, you're gonna find antiquities, which are mainly free gold. So, and I also like to learn a few more skills on the Antiquarian because he has only a few skills, but she's also an interesting supporter. So I want to do it like that. Yeah, we have the accuracy debuff, which ain't that good, so I'm gonna put up the Protect Me. Forces guarding by an ally. You can do some nice combos with a Man-at-Arms with that, but not for this run. Alright, so we put up everything for the next expedition, and I'm not gonna select the next expedition for this episode. That's something I want to do for the next. And yeah, we took the first few steps. I finally found my voice back again, and I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I'm having a lot of fun playing this game, and also never played the Crimson Court DLC so far, so I left the experience and the oh shit moments for this Let's Play series to entertain you guys probably. So hope you're gonna tune in again, and yeah, if there's still something wrong with the audios, feel free to leave me a comment, or well, just leave me a comment if you like to. I love to hear feedback on my work. And yeah, until then, enjoy your time and see you guys soon. Bye bye.